This is a special little video from the Practical Classics Classic Car and Restoration Show. I think this deserves its own little space. I'm talking to the owner of this delightful Maxi, Bron Burrell, who not only owns it now, but drove it way back in 1970 on the London to Mexico rally. So I thought it'd be very interesting to have a chat about how that went and what it was like. And
well, it was just thrilling. I was so excited to be going. People said, were you scared?
Yeah.
No way was I scared. I was just delighted to be going. So it's just...
So how old were you when you were on that rally?
I was 25.
Gosh, 25.
Yes, it's a long time ago. It
Yeah.
tells you how old I am now, of course, but there we go. But
We won't mention that.
No. I thought I was the youngest, but I wasn't the youngest. But I think now I'm the only original driver still driving an original car in events, which
Wow.
is really quite cool.
So this car is called Puff the Magic Wagon, which I just absolutely love. How did that name come
Well,
about?
the name came about because originally she had a 1450cc engine.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And with 3 girls, 2 wheels on the roof, a massive sump shield and a 30-gallon bag tank.
Wow.
When we tried to do some publicity shots jumping a ditch, all she did was bury her nose. We didn't have enough puff to get her
Right.
over the ditch.
Excellent.
And the song, a popular song at the time was Puff the Magic Dragon, but we called her Puff the Magic Wagon because we realised that we shouldn't probably call her Magic Dragon. Smoky as she was.
Yeah, excellent. so despite that lack of power, off you set.
Off we set.
On that rally. What was the total distance
The
of that
total
rally?
was 16,179 miles.
Blimey.
And we had 4,500 odd around Europe.
Yeah.
And we had to do that in 7 days, I believe. So we set up, well, that was the first day we set off. We really only got to Dover and got on a ferry.
Yeah.
And we ended up in Boulogne, and then it was just herring across Europe, non-stop. We ended up having breakfast in Munich, supper on the Iron Bridge at Budapest.
Oh wow.
Breakfast the next day in Serbia, in Sofia, in Bulgaria.
Bulgaria, yeah.
And then from there we went to Titograd, which is now called Pek, I think.
Right.
And then we did a lot of quite difficult preems in Montenegro, as it is now, where we'd cross a wooden bridge and some of the slats would be missing because they'd taken them for firewood.
Oh gosh.
Things like that.
Yeah.
And lorries coming the other way. It wasn't on tracks, and it wasn't sort of.
So were there any scheduled rest stops, or is it just drive?
We had supper at Pek, and then we drove all night through Yugoslavia to get into Italy, and we got to Munich where we had a night's sleep in a bed.
Oh wow, luxury.
And Tish got very cross she was a bit older than Tina and myself. She got cross because Tina and I were so excited to be there. We were partying and laughing and she said, "Girls, go to bed."
Yeah.
So, but then Tish and I did a lap of the track at Monza, and then we set off across the south of France, and on we went into the north of Spain, over the mountains. We went up the pass that the cyclists use.
Oh wow, okay.
The Col, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And across the north of Spain, it was just a long, boring run.
Yeah.
Then we got into Portugal. We did one night preem there in deep fog in the eucalyptus forest, and then we howled down the motorway. Well, she didn't howl. We
screamed
tried
down the motorway.
To Lisbon, and there we were for the night stop while the cars were put on a boat. We stayed there for 5 days, flew to Rio. 8 days later, the cars arrived, and off we went again.
Gosh.
It was non-stop, really.
Yeah, it sounds pretty epic. So were all 3 of you taking turns driving?
Yes, we were. There was one driving, one navigating, one sleeping.
Because there were actually quite a few all-female crews, I think.
There were 4.
Yeah, because didn't Rosemary Smith
who came 10th overall,
10th overall
in a Maxi.
Yeah, it's astonishing. So there you go.
Which has been
capable
scrapped,
car.
since been scrapped.
Oh no.
Well, I think Lord Stokes was so devastated he didn't win the rally. They came 2nd and 4th in the Triumphs. And the Maxis were left outside rotting, apparently. Everybody saw them for a few years, and suddenly one day they disappeared. No one knows where they went.
Yeah.
And that was the Red Arrows car, which finished 18th, and the Maxi, 20th, maybe it was 20th. Those 2 Maxis of 4 2 got scrapped, but Prince Michael of Kent was our teammate, and his Maxi's in Gaydon.
Ah, excellent.
Slowly deteriorating, I'm afraid.
But so Puff is the best of the lot.
Puff is in immaculate condition. She's had respray, she's been re-stickered. But she was originally found in a chicken shed.
Yeah,
With
wow.
no stickers on her.
Yeah.
She still had a bull bar, but nothing else.
Yeah, because these stickers have been added at this show because Puff's just had a bit of a makeover, so
She
fresh
has.
paint. When I came in on Friday, she was bare. So
Undressed is the word I've used. But so these stickers have been scanned from the pictures, so they're the right. They weren't the right size before.
Yeah.
So this Marshall's is now the correct size. All these are the correct size now. But they've been redone, obviously, because stickers won't last forever.
yeah.
And so she's ready to rock. Our first rally's next weekend.
Excellent. So going back, you've got to South America.
Yeah.
I understand
Yes.
you didn't actually quite manage to get to the
Yeah,
end.
well, so a few things happened. We got to, we were lying about 28th when we got to Montevideo, and we had a night's sleep in Montevideo. So we drove from Rio all the way down for 2.5 days, or 3 days, 3.5 days to Montevideo. A night's sleep. Then we had to drive up to the ferry to cross the Rio Grande. The Rio Grande is massive.
Yeah.
I hadn't realised it's bigger than the Channel.
Gosh.
Took hours to cross it. We arrived in Buenos Aires with a band playing and people cheering. We thought, ooh,
Brilliant.
gosh, they know we're here. Then we had to have the car serviced, and the British Leyland service was about 100 kilometres outside Buenos Aires. And when we got there, because we were privateers, we weren't very important people, so they were servicing all the PIs and all the land crabs.
All the Triumphs, yeah.
And we had a problem that we thought with the manifold splitting. So they said, we'll put a new one. They put a new one on, but it didn't fit. We had a Jan Speed tube.
Ah.
So they had to then weld ours up. By now, everybody had gone in evening sunshine.
Yeah.
We went, I think, about 11 o'clock at night, and it was suddenly hissing with rain. And we had to do a 200-mile preem special test on the Pampas roads, which were domed roads with ditches either side.
Yeah.
Sort of 2 miles that way, between these huge paddocks, 2 miles that way, 2 miles. So it was 90 rights or 90 lefts wherever you went.
Yeah.
And we're on this domed road with these ditches,
Gosh.
and it got slippier and slippier, and it was getting like treacle. And we were going all right. And then on one corner, Tish was driving, and sadly we slid into a ditch. She wouldn't let Tina was a mud trialist. She wouldn't let Tina or I drive it out, so she was trying to get out. We couldn't winch it out. There was no tree, nothing to attach
Nothing to attach it to, no.
And eventually she let me have a go. But now the ditch is beginning to fill with water. And I thought there's no point trying to climb 4 foot up at quite a steep.
That's not going to happen.
Get some speed up in puff, along the ditch, and then try and go. So I went, got her going as fast as I could. I thought, well, I'm not going to get her any faster. So I started to climb, and I climbed. I got the wheel up before we stalled and slid back down again.
Oh, poor Puff, out of Puff
So
again.
we got to, out of puff. So we got hauled out by a tow truck eventually. Got to the end of the preem, they'd shut it 20 minutes earlier.
Oh,
so we
gutted.
were out of the rally. Those days you had no second chance.
No.
So we turned around, went back to Buenos Aires to decide what to do. Tish and I said, well, the car's still running okay. We'll carry on, we'll catch up with the rally and get on the boat and get to Mexico. Tina said, I want to go home and see the children. So she left us. So the two of us set off up to the north of Argentina. We were there at the end of the preem where Andy Cowan had the accident, and we saw him come in and got him to hospital and all the rest of it. And then we decided we'd set off and go over the Andes, catch up on the Pan American Highway. It's going to be easy, it's a straight line on the map.
Oh.
And off we went. And about 100 kilometres later, 14,000 feet up in the mountains, we found the only village we'd come across.
Oh, wow.
And we knew the car wasn't right. We have an altimeter in there, and as we got higher, we were supposed to dial down the amount of oxygen coming in.
Ah, yeah, richen up the mixture.
Yeah, she was still struggling. So we thought, well, something's not quite right. We need a mechanic. So we stopped in this one pony street with a small inn that side, a post office that side. We could see a garage. Oh, we'll go to the garage. As we said we'll go to the garage, the car died.
Oh.
And we couldn't restart her. So eventually we found a mechanic. We walked in, and it's a long story, I'm sorry. But we walked in and found the guy who spoke English, who found us a mechanic. And it was the rotor arm had cracked totally. Oh, that's right, we've got a box of spares, we said. And on the box was there's rotor arms, and we opened it. Not a rotor arm in it, no one had packed it.
Oh, no.
So we were out.
Oh.
That night was the 25th anniversary of the little school. We drank, we danced, I smoked. We were told we couldn't do any of that at 14,000 feet, but we didn't.
Yeah.
Didn't bother us.
Excellent.
And they treated us really royally. And we got back. We eventually caught up with the rally. We flew up, got on the boat to Panama, got a lift with a Russian in his Moskvich, and got into Mexico with the rally.
Excellent.
So we finished it.
So you did get
not
to the
with
end.
Puff.
Yeah. Oh, poor Puff. So what's it like inside? Is it?
Oh.
It doesn't look like a hugely modified rally car.
No, but it was built by Marshals of Cambridge, who were aircraft,
Oh yeah.
and it was actually built to the spec that Abingdon used. We kept making trips to special tuning to check what we were doing.
It looks
They
rather like
offered
an
us-
aeroplane in there.
Special tuning offered us guns. Everybody, all the crew's
gosh.
guns. And I looked at Tish and she looked at me. I said, "I don't think we'll have guns. That we might kill each other at a certain time of the month." So we didn't have a gun.
Yeah.
But
So there is a beefy. Well, there's a roll bar.
well, it's like everybody had a John Ailey
Yeah.
roll cage. That was
Did
the
these
era.
have the adjustable suspension? 'Cause
Yes,
some of the
it's
Land Cruisers
hydroelastic,
did, didn't they?
and we do have a pump that fits on the back shelf, but it's being sorted out so it will still work.
Yeah,
And that will
brilliant.
be fitted back probably in time for Goodwood.
Excellent.
We're going to the festival.
Yeah, because that's the thing. You still use this car plenty, don't you? You take it
Yes.
all over the
Oh,
place for
yes.
various rallies. You had hoped to get to Mexico, hadn't you? But didn't COVID
Well,
get in the
COVID
way?
got in the way.
Yeah,
That really put a kibosh on it, really. But we were planning to. I wanted to get her back to Mexico.
yeah.
You know,
Because
car number
you've
20.
done down to Lisbon, haven't you?
The second rally I did in her since I bought her in 2016 was the 2017 London to Lisbon, and I thought I'll take Tina. Well, Tina eyesight isn't that good, but then we also took a navigator. So it was 3 girls in the car.
Just like old
third
times.
in class.
Brilliant.
I'm not sure how, but there we are.
Does Puff have a little more go these days?
We've just had her engine not bored. She's
Just
been stripped
rebuilt.
right,
Yeah,
rebuilt because she was getting very tired. This is a 1750 now.
Oh, feel the power now. Yeah.
But when Tish got back, she said, "I can't keep this car with a 1450cc engine.
Yeah.
I've got to." So she put the 1750cc and change. We had cable change as well. So
Gosh.
it's now rod change.
Yeah. So
Which is
you
quite-
can actually find the
Yeah,
gears.
you can find
Yeah,
the gear. And so we're hoping the engine was only put back in a week ago. So
Oh, blimey.
she won't be really run in next weekend. I've got to be a bit careful with her. But hopefully, we think we might get a bit more puff out of her.
Excellent.
And she won't be smoking. We won't be getting headaches
Yeah.
in the cab. We won't
Well,
get
yeah.
terrible headaches.
No, that wouldn't be good.
Oh.
Yeah. Super. Well, thank you so much for speaking to us, and
Thank
do
you.
watch
Thank
out
you
for this
speaking
car.
to me.
Yeah, at various events. It's just a great story.
Oh, she's such fun. She's such a little character, this
yeah,
little car.
yeah. And it just goes to prove the Maxis took such a pounding in the press,
Yeah.
and even now people still take the mickey out of them. But this car very nearly completed that rally, and
Yeah.
really it wasn't the car's fault. It didn't.
No, it wasn't. 2 Maxis out of the 4 entered finished. That was the second highest finishing percentage of any of the cars entered.
And am I right in thinking 50% of the women finished as well, which is a high
Yes,
percentage
it
than the
is,
men?
it is.
Just saying.
It is higher, certainly.
Super.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Not
It's
at all.
been a
Thank
pleasure.
you very much.
Thank
Lovely
you.
to speak to you. Keep an eye out for Puff.
Yeah, at the shows all around UK and beyond.
Thank you so much.